feet. And immediately I can feel that big toe, the belly band is quite tight. Does anybody want to have a quick feel of that on either? Well, first of all, each side, but that side in particular.
Yeah, standing up.
Yeah, we can look at
some of them this way.
Yeah,
both on the front ankle.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that would confuse me.
Yeah, totally fucked up toes. I think Nelson sent me a picture of them. Before the course started, he sent me a picture volunteering to be the demo for the foot massage. Yeah,
I did. Front ankle delta guy.
no, not everybody.
Is that 100% tension, Brandon, or would it be some sort of genetic?
It could be. The only way we'd find out is to, well, first of all, we can see quickly that he's very tight up through here, right? And in here, so the upper little toe band, the delta band. So all we can do is try our best to loosen these up. Okay? So sometimes, yeah, people are born with deformities and things like that, and all we can do is do our best. That's all. Because we can't always tell, can we loosen this up completely? And especially as people age and their deformities become really, you know.
Does anybody else, Nelson, in your family have toes like this?
Yeah. I mean, this is the second toe is genetic, but this one has now moved because of that. Like over the course.
So as he ages, it's going to get worse and worse.
Yeah.
And worse. So we can. So what we need to think about is there's three categories. Like in Ayurvedic medicine, they describe three categories: conditions that we can completely fix and get gone. Second is that we can help. I've seen it where people have had really mangled ankles because of like motorbike accidents and things like that. And I'm like, we're not going to fix that ankle. And because that ankle is completely mangled, there's always going to be tension there, but we can help it. So we might be able to reduce 10s to 7s or to 4s, whatever it may be. We just do the best we can. We're not going to get 100% result. So that's that middle category. And then there's that last category of things we can do nothing about. And
Which category would you say this is? The second?
I don't know. And I'd only find that out by doing the best I can. I'd say, well, we can help it. I don't know, and I wouldn't make that claim to him that we can completely fix it. That's why I don't like with this whole guarantee thing and all that, forget it. We do the best we can. All right? Just always approach it like that. We'll just do the best we can. We'll see what happens. You know, I'm sure we can make a big improvement on this foot. How long it'll take? I mean, this is really tight. He's got mild spider veins through here, right? You can feel how, you know, these joints are a bit tight. How long it'll take, I don't know. And that's why, I mean, he moves pretty easily, which is good. He's not as concrete as some, but like under here, have a feel of this.
Not you.
See it?
Like right in there. Let's grab some more water. He's absolutely right in wanting to volunteer for the foot massage.
That makes me feel very peaceful.
Oh, not even Brandon yet. So, very tight there. Again, I'm thinking 2-hour foot massage and then see what's happening. Don't expect it to be completely loose, but I'd expect that the picture will clear up.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. If we can clear up as much as we can, then we can see what the chronic thing. And when I look at a round, say, you know, when I was talking about 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, and then maybe a 2-hour hold treatment where we do a bit of everything. So that first 10 hours of treatment really clears up a lot of stuff. And then your next round is on what I call the stubborn tension. All right, that's where you would see what's going to go. And then if after your second round it's still really not going, you could still do a third round. If it's still, you're seeing progress, but then you might come to a point where you're going, I can't make it anymore. It's not moving anymore. And then you go, well, I can't, you know, that's out of my range of what I can do. Okay, but he's interesting in that he's got very good flexibility kind of going this way. And he's actually, you know, look at that. That's better than most people, right? So sometimes you find even with people that they can be hypermobile but still be tight. Yeah. And I've seen that a lot with gymnasts, ballet dancers and people like that. And you're like, but you're so, you know, flexible, but you're also really tight. And then the first time I saw that, I was like, this didn't make any sense to me. It didn't kind of correlate, but I've seen it a lot. since then. So don't always use flexibility of the toes as a diagnostic tool as to whether he's tight or loose, because otherwise I would go, wow, your feet are really loose. But then I come into here and I'm like, no, they're not. And he agrees. You can see that's how Americans say it. All right, and I can come up here and again feel, oh, look at this. This is tight, yeah? All through his knee here, these bands are really tight. So great. Did anybody have a feel through here? Have a feel of that area there. So is everybody happy if we do diagnosis all day today?
Yes.
All right, get into treatment tomorrow? Yeah. I just think diagnosis is so important. Yeah.
You see that hypermobility disorder or syndrome? People are in lots of pain that have that. They can be in constant pain.
Constant pain, yeah.
Yeah.
So our job again is to find the tightness and get rid of it.
Yeah. So that could be the reason of their pain.
The pain would probably be from the tightness, not from the hypermobility, because somebody could be hypermobile and not be in pain.
Yes.
Yeah. So you feel how tight those bands are through there? Yeah. And that's going to correlate with the tension coming up here. And you can feel how tight, again, he is in his tummy, right? But again, I would be thinking, yeah, first treatment would be a high, I call it first treatment, hi, how are you going, nice to meet you treatment. And I'm getting around, I'm working, and I'm assessing him as a person, I'm assessing him as a green light, yellow light, red light, and then I'm going to, and then I'm assessing his tension, okay? So all of those kinds of things is what I'm doing, and he's assessing me, right? Can we work together? You know, do we want to work together?
Do you educate about the pain? I mean, do you talk to people about the pain beforehand as well? I mean, like
good and bad pain. Yes, absolutely. Pain. It's very important to talk about good and bad pain and working and breathing out and breathing into it, not be caught up in, you know. Pain is just you know, it can be good or it can be bad. Yeah. So definitely, and the more he can handle, the more we can get rid of. So again, I can feel through here, and I can feel that that's very tight through there on that inner thumb band. Yeah, even in here, I can feel. You can feel my little finger in there. Yeah. So feel through here. You can feel those two bands really easily from diagnosing from the front. Inner wrist and inner thumb band coming up through here. So the inner wrist will be here, and the inner thumb band will be here.
So it's the same on women.
Yeah, it's the same on women. It's just you're going to go, you know, less close to the breast. So one thing I always have to say is, in Raynor Massage, we never work on a woman's breast, okay? That's what these two creeps tried to say, we don't do that, okay? We can work through a man's chest, that's fine. But on a woman, and we never rest our hand on a woman's breast, okay?
Or your head.
Yeah, you always put it on the head. It's not going to go anywhere further. Yeah, nothing, all right? So, but on a woman, we can work up through here, okay, because that's away from the breast. And on this band, this is the main one that's coming under the breast, we can start here. Okay? But we're not going to work it like this, right? From here. Right? Always be aware of where your body is, okay, in terms of professionalism too. Aware of your body. So women, be aware where your breasts are. If you're doing a face massage, don't have your breasts touching the man or woman's head. Men, be aware of where your penis is. So that I've had it where I was getting a massage and the guy was working the back of my leg and he was leaning his penis up against my foot. And I was like, what the fuck is that? You know? And I'm like, and I'm shaking my leg, and he still didn't realize. I'm like, oh, would you mind not resting your penis up against my foot? Because that was the main thing I remembered about that massage too. All right, so that, and I would not,
And even just the table height, sometimes you might have your hand like that, just in there.
Yeah.
You do such a good job. I don't want to tell you.
Yeah. So always be aware of your groin and your breast and where they are. Okay? Because there are mistakes the person will be thinking the same as when I was getting the massage, and this one's breast is on top of my head, you know?
Lucy, well, unfortunately you don't have big boobs.
Some women think that always being like breasts on their head.
Me too.
Too much like that.
Me too.
Yeah, right.
It's always getting away.
And don't rest your hand. Never work. Always be aware. Because I've had it where I've had sleazy people and they've grabbed my hand and put it in their groin. And I'm aware of that. Okay. So be aware. If you're working on that person's hand, do not have it near your groin. All right? Always aware where you're. And I don't do anything like this. I'm not even going to do, but I don't lean on his head with my groin. All right, because energetically, even I find that when people do that to me, I'm like, fuck, you know, get the fucking thing away from my head. You know, that's the thought that's coming to my head. All right, so be aware of that. So if you're going to work, you know, I don't generally work this way. I'm going to come from the sides. If I'm doing his head, I'd probably sit down. I'm keeping my groin away from his head. All right, so groin, be aware of where your groin and breasts are, and don't make that contact with them. Okay. All right, so we're feeling some arm tension here. We can come back here. We can diagnose through here, diagnose through here, diagnose it here. And again, all of them, they're not like super tight, but he's more like variations from 5s to 7s. Okay. I can have a feel of how his joints move. Just give them a little bit of a movement there, and they're moving quite well. Yeah, his hands are not that bad. Like, you see how his joints have got way better movement? But again, that could be his hypermobility there. So we have to be careful not to use that. It's a good diagnosis, but it's not always 100% foolproof. All right? Whereas this is more likely to tell us. That's why I diagnose from several different areas. All right? I want to see if the whole picture is adding up together. In case I get a wrong diagnosis, just go, oh wow, you know, his fingers really move really well. Wow, he's nice and loose. No, he's not. Okay? That would give me a poor, usually it would work, but in this case that's not true, because I can feel through here, and I can definitely feel he's tight up through here. I can feel all of these different bands. Does everybody remember the bands of the hands, the arms? Do you want me to quickly review them? All right, the inner wrist band is going to come from these fingers here, so especially the tendons coming through here, right? Through here, into here, and into here. No, that's the outer little finger band. Okay. The inner thumb band is going to come up through here into this part of the very important part of the thumb here, and it's going to come up and into here. Okay, and then across and into here. Outer thumb band is going to come up through here and into the side of the neck. Outer wrist band is going to come from these 3 fingers, come up through here, come up here, and even more around the back, but into the side of the neck. Upper little finger band is going to come up here and into the side of the neck, at the back. So here, here, and here. And then your outer little finger band is going to come up through here and into the back here. And there's a 7th band on both the arms and the legs that you guys may not have learned yet. That we've been looking at, and this one here is the bottom little finger band. Okay, it's our latest band that we found, and that's going to come up through here and right into the armpit, and it seems to join with the outer little toe band. It's very hard to feel in here. Okay, but that's one of the bands, the latest band that we've come up with isn't even on some of our charts yet.
The upper scapula, upper little finger scapula band.
Upper little finger. You've got the upper little finger, you've got the outer little finger, and the bottom little finger. 3 different bands. Okay?
What are you going to do tonight?
So where was that 7th one? It seems to be very close to the little finger one.
It's the bottom little finger coming up through here, right on this side. So the outer little finger is going to come between those 2 points. This one's going to come up through here.
That usually sends a spark.
Yeah? Okay. So that's our diagnosis then. We can then go, okay, should I work into detail? And I'm going to go into the detail tomorrow with the chopsticks on the hands and the feet, because a lot of you guys haven't practiced that yet, right? We're going to get into details, real fine details of how to work these bands from the source. So that's going to be tomorrow. All right? Because a lot of the treatments are like this, where I'm just going, okay, we're going to pick a limb. Basically, we might do a head massage, get them relaxed on every treatment, in fact. So there's never a wrong thing to start with a head massage. And then we go, okay, am I going to work his toe? In which case I'd use a chopstick through here, and I'd do this toe. Am I going to do all the toes? I'd use chopsticks on all of them, or I'd use a tool. There's other tools besides chopsticks we can use, which I'll show you. I've bought a lot of different tools.
Or
if it was question. Yeah.
Right, somebody's overweight, right, really full of tension, loads of, sort of fascia surface tension. can't even get to the bands for the first 2 or 3 sessions. It literally.
Why can't you get to the bands?
Well, you can, but it's that painful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So all I do, literally, is spend an hour, 2 hours just breaking down. Still trying to get to the bands, but there's so much tension in the back of the legs and into the feet. I will obviously concentrate on the feet more, but when you're working up the legs, you're not even getting in. You can't even feel the bands to start with. Am I doing the right thing? Basically, it's like stripping away layers, basically.
Well, it's always stripping away layers.
Yeah.
And it's always, with everybody, it's always, how can I help this individual, right?
Yeah.
The best way I can.
Yeah.
And they might be giving you, green lights in certain areas and red lights in other areas.
Yeah.
I just can't. And it's not a red light or green light in terms of the fact that they want to get better. It's just that people can only handle so much, as you're saying, right? It's not like they can't do anything about it. That's just, that's as much as I can handle. You work around it, you do the best you can. So
She feels great after every session. She comes back, so
that's it. You're doing good. Look, you might have a long way to go from here to here, right? And sometimes if you're getting there like this, that's still good. Especially if she's not allowing you to get like that. You've always got to be flexible in your approach to work with each person. If they're not going to let you work somewhere today, don't work there. You can't force it, right? So work with them and let them go. Okay, today we're not going to work there. Well, let's go somewhere. Where can we make progress?
It's like my mum's pain threshold when I first trained. It was almost impossible. Couldn't even. But now she's at a point where she can handle elbows, everything. It's just.
If they can't handle anywhere, do a head massage for an hour,
Head feet.
and then do the assisted belly. Start with some assisted belly breathing, because the more you can relax their mind, the more they can handle more, the more they can breathe. So this head-belly connection is also something I want to really focus on in this course, the importance of the head-belly connection. Of course, we've got the Sushumna, which holds all the chakras through here as well, and it's a very important way to align people on that energetic basis. But even more so than that, we want to have people getting into that deep belly breathing. The deep belly breathing is what's the most important thing for a person to do that's receiving the massage. Okay? So, and relaxing their head is very important. So in fact, I'm diagnosing now, but when treatment comes, we're going to do a lot from the tips of the fingers, tips of the toes part. We're going to work in conjunction with their releasing mechanism. I always say we're like the servant of the breath. We need to get that going. So we need to relax their mind, relax their head, and then get the belly going so that they're just, if we're working on it. That's the best way. That person, a non-judgmental, just releasing thing of going. And so you always want to establish that before you start getting into necessarily the fine detail. All right? So that's something I want to cover in a whole session as well. All right, so we're figuring out he's pretty tight everywhere. We'll just get him to roll over. But basically the same, I would cover the same treatment plan virtually as I was doing with Oliver. All right? I'd work his head, and then I'd find a limb and work from the bottom of the limb. Anybody want to feel through here? You can feel, again, he's not quite as tight, actually, as Oliver. Overall, he's a little bit looser. And again, he's fairly, balanced in his being tight. But I would definitely think, let's just take one limb and do a really good job of it. Same basic procedure. 2 hours, 2 hours. His feet in particular are going to need a fair bit of work. There's a lot of mangled, detailed work there. Definitely his thumb is tight. You can feel, does anybody want to feel through here? You can feel that. Feels quite tight to me. That's a really good diagnostic area because we use our thumbs a lot. And as massage therapists, we're all going to be tight there. What's that? Yeah, in reflexology it is, yeah. But here is where I'm coming into, in that pressure point, large intestinal 4 Chinese medicine. All right, and I'm diagnosing there, and I'm doing things like pulling that joint. So you guys, did everybody following? Anybody not sure of anything? Or everything? I would say he's about a 6 or 7 out of 10 tight in there. Yeah, more like just in there. Yeah, so not super tight.
The whole airplane.
But yeah.
What was it in comparison to the other one? They click on the other
Yeah, let's have a feel.
Maybe the end.
Yeah, this one's definitely tighter, yeah. And again, yeah, more likely that most of us are right-handed, so his right hand's tighter than his left. So you could then spin more time on his right hand and loosen it down. It's not a big difference, but he's just slightly looser outside. It's more effective than it's more. You know, there's no shortage of work for a good massage therapist. Sometimes people say to me, "Oh, is there any? You know, isn't there a lot of massage therapists out there?" And I'm like, "You fucking had to look around at how many tight, fucked up people there are."
See, even I would want a regular massage, but I don't have anyone near me.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, I'd have one regular.
Yeah, that's right.
You need it.
The most frustrating thing about the class was after I was done, I was like, who does this?
Yeah, that's right.
That's
right. Yeah, so have a feel here of these bands. Here, he's pretty tight. Here, like that's close to an 8. I mean, that's pretty.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Sorry. It's not that we're going to be treating from there. We would treat from the end of the band, okay? But we're just diagnosing.
Yeah, that area is on my list.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so do you guys think you're going to learn more by splitting up into a few different groups and working on, or are you learning a lot from me going through each person? You like the me going through each person? Yeah. Yeah. All right. So he's got, and again, we can feel, even in here, you can feel how tight he is in his hips here. Right? That's coming in from that, that's tight in there. Yeah. So he's got also tightness in here. We could diagnose him from the side position. We'll just get him quickly in the side, and then we'll get him off. I know a lot of you guys are table hogs. You're like, no, just take your time, yeah. All right. Side position's always like this, right? And again, we could diagnose with our elbow, right, or a knuckle because it's a bit, you know, and he's super tight in there, so a good 7 or 8 anyway. Maybe not super tight, but certainly tight. Does anybody want to feel that? You can actually feel it with your fingers, the tightness in there. That hip tension too is an area I often equate with frustration, resentment, impatience, anger. In Chinese medicine, the gallbladder meridian runs through there. And I find a lot of people have anger releases from the hips, which then can proceed if people are holding on to belly tension, sometimes working the hips, they can have a bit of a scream or a bit of anger come out and then they'll cry. And some people won't cry without screaming first. So I found like difficulty releasing belly tension sometimes. And I get in the hips, they have a bit of a scream, and then the tears start to come. And then the tension just evaporates. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Who would like to do next? Okay.
That wasn't too much pain.
All right. You know, there's no shortage of work for a good massage therapist. Sometimes people say to me, "Oh, is there any? You know, isn't there a lot of massage therapists out there?" And I'm like, "You fucking had to look around at how many tight, fucked up people there are."
See, even I would want a regular massage, but I don't have anyone near me.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, I'd have one regular.
Yeah, that's right.
You need it.
The most frustrating thing about the class was after I was done, I was like, who does this?
Yeah, that's right.
That's
right. Yeah, so have a feel here of these bands. Here, he's pretty tight. Here, like that's close to an 8. I mean, that's pretty.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Sorry. It's not that we're going to be treating from there. We would treat from the end of the band, okay? But we're just diagnosing.
Yeah, that area is on my list.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so do you guys think you're going to learn more by splitting up into a few different groups and working on, or are you learning a lot from me going through each person? You like the me going through each person? Yeah. Yeah. All right. So he's got, and again, we can feel, even in here, you can feel how tight he is in his hips here. Right? That's coming in from that, that's tight in there. Yeah. So he's got also tightness in here. We could diagnose him from the side position. We'll just get him quickly in the side, and then we'll get him off. I know a lot of you guys are table hogs. You're just take your time, yeah. All right, side position's always like this, all right? And again, we could diagnose with our elbow, right, or a knuckle because it's a bit, you know, and he's super tight, so a good 7 or 8 anyway. Maybe not super tight, but certainly tight. Does anybody want to feel it? You can actually feel it with your fingers, the tightness in there. That hip tension too is an area I often equate with frustration, resentment, impatience, anger. In Chinese medicine, the gallbladder meridian runs through there. And I find a lot of people have anger releases from the hips, which then can proceed if people are holding on to belly tension, sometimes working the hips, they can have a bit of a scream or a bit of anger come out and then they'll cry. And some people won't cry without screaming first. So I found like difficulty releasing belly tension sometimes. And I get in the hips, they have a bit of a scream, and then the tears start to come. And then the tension just evaporates. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Who would like to do next? Okay.
That wasn't too much.